Joe with Task Force Customs, and we're going for part 2 from little window to big window in the 1955 to 1959 Chevy Task Force pickup truck. So we've got the components left over from what I finished with, and the big window makes such a big difference. You figure you're coming to here comparison to this little window. So just for a rundown, we've got the outer window shielding piece that goes across, the trim that runs up in the upper spot with the fanciness that would hook onto the. So next up we got is the inner section of the inner window for the small window. And how I cut that out. This would be the back side that you kind of wouldn't really see. And then lastly, this is the inner roof structure and how it comes together. So there's your back dome light moving into how your front windshield would sit in here, and the part hits to the other part of the roof down to the front of the cap. So your A post and then your B post in the back. So the first thing you're going to need is you're going to need a donor window, of course, a big back window, or you're going to have to buy the 2 pieces for the big back window. There's an inner and an outer, which we'll go through. The second part you should do is I'd use a drill, or you can use a cutter and cut along the roof edge. The drip rail is what the piece I would disconnect all the way across. Take all the spot welds out and try to leave it pretty clean, because you're going to have to fill those spots back up in your roof, because you're actually not going to take off the roof all the way across. So when you get down to this section, you're going to actually have to peel it off that point, because that's going to be to the B post. So the next piece I would do is go across the B post and drill out all the pieces going down and across on both sides to where you're going to put your cut mark line. I put your cut mark line above where you're going to cut the other piece for the big window in the bottom portion, and below your big window, of course. So just to go over, first I would have cut the roof, drill out the roof, down the B post, there you go. Then you're going to get to the roof's going to be able to flop up a bit. What I did next is I drilled out the back window. Is what I did. Just took a small little drill bit and drilled out each little section, each to the point all the way across. Just keep working your way across. Across and across and across. So, there you go. So next, you've already drilled out, and you've got all these pieces here drilled out all the way through. But I only did it on the one side and peeled it, is what I did. And because I knew I wasn't using this piece, I cut the top of this. That's why it's not straight. So at one point here, you're just going to have the B post actually just floating in the air up into the roof point is what you're actually going to have, because you're going to peel this piece off is what you're going to do, and just have that B-post up in the air. Now you can do the next part in 2 parts. You can peel it off all as one, or, which I found was better, is I cut a low below the roof line here, and then I actually cut through here, because we're not using the small big window in the end. So I cut that, cut it there, and then I cut it there. So then I could take out, and then I pick the point where I want on that cab, where I can cut it all the way across. So in regards, you're going to make your cut, and you're going to have this piece all peeled off up here, is what you're going to do. So you're actually going to have this piece all off on that small window. You're actually going to be able to see the inside joint that sits on along here. Is you're actually going to be able to cut that now from the good cab and pull that down for that point and knock that piece out that's butt welded that you can't get to once to the point. That's how that's going to go. That's going to get your inner. So when you're going to buy an inner and an outer for the window frame, if you can buy a donor, or you can also do that, you can buy the whole back cab and go from there, is a thought process you can do too. But if you can find one through a donor, which was a big back window, is the way you go. So in saying that, once you get that done, all you're going to do end up left with all but this B-post is going to be sitting in here in this frame. There'll be nothing here and nothing in here, is the way it's going to go. I'd first slide the fit and see your fit up into the inner window, the inner frame. Slide this up, get it up all the way, take your measurements, make sure it slides up nice and tight, is what I would do first. Once you got it up nice and tight, you're only going to get one chance at this, and you've got it perfect. You're going to not body fill, you're going to need panel bond up there where you can't meet that point, in that pinch point. You're going to push that all the way up, is what I would do, and away you go. So that's where you're going to have the panel in the inside for the support, weld back in, and then you're going to have to fit your outside window, which I did another cut, and I did the Fitzy butt weld point, made this a little bit longer over here, and joined the outer window to it. So I hope that makes as much sense talking through the pieces. So if you have any questions, let me know. It's kind of hard to go through, but it can be accomplished, and it's not rocket science.